All right, Marie. Um, okay. So your child has an IEP. Your child's 4. Your child's nonverbal. Your child is on the autism spectrum. And so your child's in a preschool class. And as of right now, your child receives speech and OT services, access to an aide, and personal care services. You'll have to let me know what that means. I think I know if your child isn't toileted, things of that nature. Now, let me tell you, your child's right to a free and appropriate public education is the same, whether they're 4 or whether they're 6 or whether they're 10. All right? The IEP has to look the same. Your child's rights to those things are the same. So many, and I don't know what state you're in, but so many services all across the country, they're crappy in preschool when this is really our golden opportunity, our window of opportunity to really make gains. And the entire purpose of early intervention or preschool services is to prepare our children for a public school environment. And, we're supposed to presume competence, meaning that your child can succeed in a kindergarten classroom, in a kindergarten environment. Well, where do we set that up? We set that up in preschool. And we really hit it hard here. And that's great that your child's in a Montessori-based class, but speech and OT isn't going to cut it. Your child, and I don't know how much speech your child should be getting 3 to 4 sessions per week. That's about the average. If you're saying that your child's nonverbal with autism, that's about the average right there. It's 3 to 4 sessions a week. And if they sit there and they go, "Oh, we're doing it with a whole group language immersion BS," all right, your child has to be to a point to where they're going to benefit from let's say a small group environment. But I'm all for whole language. All right, that happens all the time. Happens in your own home. It happens everywhere your child is located, because people are talking and people are communicating, and that's great. But at the same time, if your child has these specific deficits, then we need an expert. And that expert is called a speech language pathologist. And that expert helps prime that pump and fill those gaps, those voids. And they're trained specifically to understand what those deficits are so that they can be addressed. And then it can be generalized over in this whole group experience or in a small group. But on the outside, there needs to be a lot of one-to-one with that speech language pathologist in order to really get that going. The other thing is, I highly recommend, it was been a great benefit to my daughter and many of my clients. I do recommend the Gemini program, GEMIINI.org. GEMIINI.org. It's been a great product. It's discrete video modeling, and like I said, a great product, and we've helped push this into a lot of schools. I think it helps fill a lot of service gaps to where we know and we recognize. I'm a realist. I work in the real world. And I know that we don't have enough speech language pathologists. I know we don't have enough of these services. So schools will sit there and try to shave them and do the best they can with the limited resources they have. So why not use these, but then also on top of it, supplement with something like Gemini? All right, so look into that. But then at the other thing is that what are some of the things we need to be aware of? Social goals, absolutely. Quite frankly, you need a good behavior analyst involved. And I'm talking about an ethical, competent behavior analyst, where you have an ABLS, ABLLS, or a VB-MAPP, a VB map. One of those two assessments would be invaluable. especially if your child has limited communication skills, because that will help really fine tune where the deficits are so that you can, fill those gaps through ABA therapy, let's say discrete trial training. And yes, a school system can do that, should do that, can do that. And we have that pushed into many, many schools. And then many states are starting to cover that with regards to insurance. So I would look into that. With regards to pre-academics, what are the skills that your child would need to be kindergarten ready? All right. And so, yes, there would need to be academic goals in there, matched to your state's preschool standards, which every state has. So yes on social, yes on communication, yes on functional skills, independent skills, your child's ability to attend, because what the IEP team needs to focus on right now is what does your child need to do? What is expected of a typically developing kindergarten student? And that's where you need to fill in those gaps for your child. And, that would be how long can your child stay seated and attend? That's a goal. And my daughter, we were celebrating when she was able to sit for 30 seconds. That was a big deal. And it took us years to get to that point. She has classic autism. But when she was 3, good luck getting her in a chair. And she was a biter. She was a pincher. She wasn't potty trained. So, these were all things that we had to hit it hard. But we had a team effort with our speech language pathologist, occupational therapist, preschool resource teacher, along with a very good behavior analyst. And then the behavior analyst trained the team, incorporated ABA into my child's program, and then we were off to the races after that, and she made huge gains. So I can tell you, I'm disappointed if those are the only services that they offered your child, because they should have offered way more than that. And I don't know what state you're located in, but they should have offered you way more than that, because it doesn't even sound like they're scratching the surface of what a free and appropriate public education would be for your child.